Jurickson Profar's 80-game suspension for PED use is a tough blow for both the player and the Atlanta Braves, who invested $42 million in him after his breakout 2020-24 season. Now the Braves are left scrambling to fill the void in left field while Profar faces a long road to regaining trust in the clubhouse and around MLB. Profar's future, rebuilding trust and his career. Profar's career trajectory is now at a crossroads. He was finally coming into his own as a power hitter after years of underwhelming offensive production. But with his sudden leap in hard hit percentage and exit velocity now under scrutiny, his reputation will take a major hit. History has shown that players can recover from PED suspensions, Nelson Cruz and Fernando Tatis Jr. being prime examples. But it all depends on how Profar handles his return. When he does come back in June, the Braves will have a decision to make. Will he return to a starting role, or will his place in the lineup be in jeopardy? That could depend on how Atlanta's replacement options perform in the coming months. How the Braves adjust without Profar. Atlanta's outfield was already thin before Profar's suspension, with 2023 NL MVP Ronald Acuña Jr. recovering from a torn ACL. With Acuña sidelined until late May, the Braves are down 2 starting outfielders just a week into the season. In the short term, Michael Harris II will continue to lock down center field, while Jared Kelenic and Brian De La Cruz are expected to platoon in right field. As for left field, Alex Verdugo now appears to be the frontrunner to take over. Though Verdugo had an underwhelming offensive season with the Yankees last year, his defensive prowess makes him a logical fill-in. Atlanta could also look to the trade market if their current options struggle. If the Braves are in contention by the trade deadline, acquiring an established bat for the outfield could become a priority. Moving forward, for now the Braves must find a way to generate offense without 2 of their key outfielders. Their sluggish start to the season, scoring just 7 runs in 4 games, is cause for concern, but there's still plenty of time to turn things around. The focus will be on staying competitive until Acuña returns and later determining whether Profar will have a spot waiting for him once his suspension ends.
What's up, baseball breakdown enthusiasts? Welcome back to the channel for a deep dive into the latest bombshell shaking up the MLB season. Atlanta Braves outfielder Jurickson Profar's 80-game suspension for violating the league's performance-enhancing drug policy. This news has sent shockwaves through the Braves organization and the baseball world, especially considering Profar was one of their biggest offseason acquisitions. Today, we're going to analyze the immediate and long-term implications of this suspension for both Profar's career and the Atlanta Braves, who are already facing a challenging start to the 2025 season. Let's get right into this critical situation. The news that Jurickson Profar, the Atlanta Braves' prized offseason addition, had been slapped with an 80-game suspension for testing positive for a banned substance sent a jolt through the baseball landscape. As the video you sent over details, the 32-year-old left fielder tested positive for chorionic gonadotropin, or HCG, a hormone that is typically associated with fertility and the production of testosterone. The timing of this news couldn't be worse for both Profar and the Atlanta Braves. The team has stumbled out of the gate in the 2025 season, suffering 4 consecutive losses in their opening series against the San Diego Padres. Ironically, Profar's former team. To add insult to injury, their offense has been largely anemic, struggling to score runs. Looking back at Profar's career, the video reminds us that he entered the league with immense hype as the sport's top prospect when he debuted with the Texas Rangers back in 2012. However, he never quite lived up to the lofty expectations of being a franchise-altering player. Instead, he carved out a solid career as a versatile player with decent offensive capabilities. Over time, he transitioned into primarily an everyday left fielder. Interestingly, heading into the 2024 season, Profar signed a 1-year deal with the Padres that included a relatively modest $1 million guarantee. What followed was nothing short of a career year for Profar. He smashed 24 home runs, earned his first All-Star Game selection as a starter in left field, won a Silver Slugger Award, and finished the season as one of the most valuable outfielders in the National League. According to Fangraphs wins above replacement, (FWAR), that surprising breakout season earned him a significant payday this past winter. with the Atlanta Braves signing him to a 3-year contract worth a substantial $42 million. He was undoubtedly one of their biggest offseason acquisitions, expected to be a key contributor to their lineup. However, as fate would have it, Profar appeared in just 4 games for the Braves before the news of his PED suspension broke. He will now be sidelined, without pay, until early June and will also be ineligible to participate in any playoff games should the Braves reach the postseason in 2025. Given the timing of the suspension, it's difficult not to draw a connection between Profar's positive PED test and his outlier 2024 season. As the video highlights, while he had always shown good swing decisions, his batted ball data experienced a massive jump last year. In fact, among all qualified hitters in MLB, Profar had the single largest year-over-year increase in hard hit percentage and average exit velocity. According to StatCast data, unfortunately, in light of his positive test, that sudden improvement now appears incredibly suspicious. The video notes that Profar is the first MLB player to be suspended for PEDs this season. While the number of suspensions in the major leagues has declined significantly since the implementation of a formalized testing program in 2004, the issue of performance-enhancing drug use continues to linger beneath the surface in the minor leagues and the international amateur market. While only 2 big leaguers, Cincinnati's Noah V. Mart and Toronto's Orelvis Martinez, received PED suspensions in 2024, the fact that suspensions still occur each season indicates that PED use is far from being eradicated from the game. For Jurickson Profar, like other players who have tested positive for PEDs before him, he will now face an extended period away from the game and the cloud of suspicion that inevitably accompanies such a transgression. However, the video offers a glimmer of hope for Profar's long-term reputation, referencing examples like Nelson Cruz and Fernando Tatis Jr., who both faced PED suspensions earlier in their careers but managed to rehabilitate their image over time. How Profar is perceived both within clubhouses and by the wider baseball community will depend heavily on how he handles his suspension and whether he avoids any further positive tests in the future. For the Atlanta Braves, this news represents yet another significant blow in what has already been a difficult start to the season. Their offense was largely absent during their opening series against the Padres, managing to score a total of just 7 runs across 4 games and currently find themselves in a 22-inning scoreless streak heading into their series against the Los Angeles Dodgers this week. Adding to their offensive woes, the Braves entered the season without their reigning National League MVP, Ronald Acuña Jr., who is still recovering from the torn ACL he suffered last season. While Acuña Jr. is expected to return around late May, the loss of Profar in the interim leaves the Braves significantly undermanned in the outfield. Michael Harris too will continue to anchor center field, but the Braves now appear likely to rely on a platoon of Jarred Kelenic and Brian De La Cruz in right field until Acuña Jr. is able to return to the lineup. As for the void specifically left by Profar's suspension in left field, the video suggests that the most likely medium-term solution for the Braves is Alex Verdugo. The 28-year-old outfielder was the everyday left fielder for the New York Yankees during their American League pennant-winning season last year. While he faced some criticism for his offensive performance, Verdugo remains a stellar defensive player in left field. Interestingly, despite his relatively young age and availability, Verdugo settled for a 1-year, $1.5 million deal with the Braves in March, perhaps indicating some concerns around the league about his offensive production. Nevertheless, Profar's suspension now presents Verdugo with a clear path back to regular big league playing time and an opportunity to solidify his role with the Braves. The situation in Atlanta is undoubtedly challenging, losing a key offseason acquisition to a PED suspension so early in the season, coupled with the continued absence of their superstar outfielder, puts significant pressure on the rest of the team to step up and perform. How the Braves navigate this early season adversity will be a major storyline to watch as the 2025 season unfolds. What are your thoughts on Jurickson Profar's PED suspension and its impact on the Atlanta Braves? Do you think Profar can rehabilitate his reputation in the long run? And how do you see the Braves adjusting their outfield in his absence? Share your opinions in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video. Subscribe for more in-depth analysis of the MLB season. And hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates on the Braves and the rest of the league. We'll catch you in the next one. Nguyen Va Noi Dung Lien Quan.